Season of Discovery Phase 3 is here, and I'm going to show you how to succeed as a Destruction Warlock. Let's start with the stat priorities, where we're going to start off with hit chance. Now, we're not really going to get any of this from our talents in Destruction, unlike some of the other Warlock specs, so we do need to get this from other sources as much as possible. The second stat on the list is, of course, going to be spell power. This is going to increase the damage we are doing with our spells. Then we're going to look at crit chance. Don't forget also that intellect is also going to give you some crit chance and mana, so it's not to be scoffed at, but it isn't as good as crit chance all on its own. And for then the last talent, I would really just go for looking for maybe spirit or stamina and things like that. But let's have a look at the talent tree. Of course, being in Destruction, most of our spells are going to be in the Destruction tree. We can put 5 out of 5 into Cataclysm, reducing the mana cost of our spells. One thing to note is you can put 5 out of 5 into Improved Shadow Bolt, but really this is only for AoE situations. The critical strikes of our Shadow Bolt are going to increase damage dealt to the target until 4 non-periodic damage sources are applied. This pairs very well with our Shadow Bolt Volley rune, which TLDR shoots out 5 of them rather than 1. But apart from this situation, I don't really think it's worth taking. On the next line, we're going to go into Bane, reducing the casting time of our Shadow Bolt, Immolate, and Soulfire. 5 out of 5 into Devastation, increasing the crit chance of our Devastation spells by 5%, which is of course mainly what we will be using. 1 out of 1 into Soul Burn. It's an instant cast spell on a 15-second cooldown that's going to generate a soul shard when the target dies. You can use this near the end of the fight or when you need high mobility as well, because of course it is instant. So you can be running and then get one of these out on your target if you haven't got time to cast anything else. We can also put 2 out of 2 into Improved Firebolt, reducing the casting time of our Imp's Firebolt. Our Imp actually does quite a lot of damage, and this is actually a really important talent, even though it's passive. 2 out of 2 into Destructive Reach. Pretty simple. It's extending the reach of our destruction spells. 1 out of 1 into Ruin. This is going to double the amount of damage that is added when you do a crit. So rather than 200%, it's going to increase it to 300%. You could kind of see that as. And then we're going to put 5 out of 5 into Improved Immolate. This is increasing the initial damage of our Immolate by 25%. Fantastic, of course. 5 out of 5 into Ember Storm, increasing the damage done by our fire spells by 10%, which is obviously amazing. And 1 into Conflagrate. Ignites the target that is already afflicted by your Immolate, dealing fire damage and consuming the Immolate on the target. You can see there we're now at level 41. We've got 9 points left to go. I'm going to go into Demonology and put 3 out of 3 into Improved Imp. This is going to improve its Firebolt, Fire Shield, and Blood Pact. The Firebolt paired with the reduced casting time here is actually a massive DPS increase, and of course your party is going to get more stamina from the improved Blood Pact as well. For some added survivability then on the remaining points, I'm going to put 5 out of 5 into Demonic Embrace, increasing our total stamina but reducing our spirit a little bit, and then the final point probably going into improved Health Stone, giving us a bit more from that, taking us up to level 50. Let's then look at what runes we're going to use. On the hands, we're going with Chaos Bolt. This deals fire damage, it always hits, and causes all of your fire spells to pierce through absorption effects. This is absolutely astronomical in how important it is for Warlocks, especially, well, obviously in Destruction. Rain of Fire is also going to leave a Lake of Fire where you place your Rain of Fire, and it's going to increase all damage, all fire damage you do, and your Demon Pet deals to afflicted enemies for 50% for 15 seconds, which is amazing. On the pants, we're putting Incinerate, burning our enemy and increasing all fire damage we do by another 25% for 15 seconds. Really good on there, increasing that fire damage we're doing, which is of course the bulk of our spells. Grimoire of Synergy on the waist, recite from a Dark Tome, granting damage done by you or your summoned demon a 5% chance to increase the damage done by the other by 25%. And again, Restriction lasts 30 minutes, and this is a 15-second buff. Again, this is a fantastic one for passively increasing damage done. Speaking again on our demon, increasing the spell damage and healing by a value equal to 10% of your demon pet's total stamina plus intellect is Demonic Knowledge for the foot rune. And then the new runes we've got in Phase 3 of SoD is massive, okay? This is going to pair with Conflagrate, Backdraft on the head. Your Conflagrate ability also grants 30% spellcasting haste for 10 seconds, making Conflagrate here absolutely vital to our rotation. Lastly, on the wrist, we're going to go for Immolation Aura. This is really good, paired with our Rain of Fire for AoE, burns nearby enemies, every 2 seconds and reduces all magic damage taken by 10%. This actually lasts until cancelled as well. And that is pretty much it for the talents and runes you are going to be taking. Let's see how it all comes together then into the actual rotation that we will be doing in Destruction for Phase 3. First of all, we want to make sure we've got our imp up, and of course it's attacking, which is pretty obvious. Then when we go in, we're going to precast and incinerate and get our curse up on the target and keep that up at all times. That one is going to be Curse of Recklessness. It's going to increase the melee attack power of your target, but actually massively reduce their armor. We can then use our Inferno, and then we're going to cast our Immolate. We're then going to cast our Conflagrate, which remember is actually going to absorb our Immolate. And we've talented in so that our Immolate's initial damage does more damage as well, which is obviously what we want because we're going to be actually absorbing it with the Conflagrate. And remember, when you then use your Conflagrate, it is actually going to give you a massive boost of haste. After we've got that on cooldown, we then want to cast Immolate and keep that up on the boss as much as possible. Obviously then using our Conflagrate when we can to absorb it and get that haste boost again. So it kind of works in a little cycle of we're getting our curse up, we're casting our Immolate, we're absorbing it with the Conflagrate and then getting the haste buff, then getting the Immolate back up. Once Conflagrate comes off cooldown, we repeat that cycle. Then we're going to use our Chaos Bolt on cooldown. You do want to make sure, however, that you've got your Incinerate on the target before you use your Chaos Bolt. And then after that, Incinerate will be the filler. Again, if you are moving, etc., or the boss is nearly dead, you can use your Shadow Burn as well. If you're looking at doing AoE, get your Incinerate out so you get that 25% buff, and then swap out Chaos Bolt for Shadow Bolt Volley. Of course, then you would, if you're going properly into AoE, switch out for improved Shadow Bolt. But if you are like, I want to be mainly single target, you don't have to go into there. If it's only going to be like for a little bit, then I would just swip out Chaos Bolt into Shadow Bolt Volley, put on your Immolation Aura, and you're pretty much ready to go. And that, guys, is how you're going to play Destruction Warlock in Phase 3 of Season of Discovery. I hope you enjoyed. If you have got any other questions, feel free to join the Discord, where there's a lot of other players who are very happy to help, etc. You can also join my Patreon with a link down below for that, where you can get a lot of behind-the-scenes content, get videos before everyone else, and get access to my LVUI custom profile and all of my other custom profiles like Voodoo and Details and my WoW spreadsheets. If you're looking for other SoD guides, check out my channel here. There's a shelf for current class guides. I always remove the inactive ones and put the current ones there, so you know that what you're looking at is the most current up-to-date videos. And you can see there I have got an SoD Phase 3 playlist all ready with all the class specs that you need. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Phase 3 of SoD.